And I'm going to be doing a summary of the book of The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. He talks about habit, and the goal is to choose your habits, in particular the right ones. So what he says that most of our habits are automatic. Like he says, 45% of our habits are on automatic. And in a habit, there are three structures. There's the cue, which is the trigger for an automatic behavior to start, and then there's routine, which is the behavior itself, and then there's the reward, what you get for finishing a specific routine. So what he says is every single habit has a reward associated with it. And he specifies that if you want to get rid of a habit, you cannot just get rid of it, you can only change it. And the only way to change it is to recognize what your cues are. And your cues are the trigger that for an automatic behavior. It can be a certain place, it can be a certain time, it can be specific kind of people you are around, things like that. And it can be a particular emotion. And he talks about a simplified habit reversal therapy, where you use an index card every time you have that urge to do a certain habit that you know is not good for you. You write it down, and that helps you. So the only way to be able to change the habit is to look at the cues. Is it a specific time that makes you want to do that bad habit? Like now, like for me, I normally have a time where I and it reaches in the evening, I just want to watch YouTube movies. So I find that like a reward of some sorts, uh, where I just want to relax and just my brain is tired or something like that. So he said you experiment, you try and figure out what's the cue, and then you find out what the reward you get from. Like now, I have to find out what the reward for wanting to keep on binging on YouTube movies or YouTube videos over and over. So he said you have to experiment. You give yourself small wins, try and figure out when you're trying out when you want to change that habit. Now I want to change the habit, instead of constantly watching YouTube movies, I'm doing other things. Then he talks about you also have to have a belief in yourself. You can't just try hard to believe, you have to prove to yourself that you can change. And then he talks about something called a keystone habit. A keystone habit is when you it's a habit that when you do it, everything else doesn't matter, as in it's a habit that will make you do other good things in the process. Like for example, exercise. Exercise is a habit that when you do it, everything else seems easier. Like you're able to wash your dishes on time. You're able to keep yourself organized. You're not as tired or exhausted. It is those habits, like meditation, makes you have a clear head and makes everything else not seem to spiral out of control, like you get annoyed, things like that. And then he also talks about willpower. You have to know that willpower is like a muscle. It's it's infinite and it can be strengthened. Willpower is fresh in the morning, so and you also remember you can't have willpower the whole day. It's a certain time. Mostly he says mostly in the morning. That's when it is most strong. Um, so, for example, if your willpower, you use your willpower to use it for exercise. When you use it for exercise, just remember during the end of the day, it's going to be very hard for you to exercise, as it's going to, it will take a lot of energy on your part to try and maintain the exercise and all that. So you have to know when your willpower is the strongest, and use it as that for the most important things you prioritize. He talks about other things. If you're interested more in reading about this book, you can either join the course that I'm in, which is called Mentor Box, or you can buy the book on Amazon. Thanks for listening. Bye.